cold drinks for this hot summer day in Ohio. Thank you for joining me for this Lexus Podcast. All right. Let's see me get situated here. All right, I'm sure many of you will watch this later on. This was not scheduled. I've been shopping, well, since last month for a car for my son. So, in case you don't know or need an update, my son blew the engine on his Lexus. And for those of you watching this picture, this is not his car, but this, I believe, was the very first Lexus produced back in 1990. But to recap, my son blew the engine on his Lexus RX350 by driving it with a bad water pump. He had an appointment to get it serviced, and he decided to take a drive before dropping it at the garage. He basically did it backwards. So the water pump didn't work, the engine got fried, and he's lucky that the engine didn't catch fire. He's okay, but the car is toast. So I've been shopping for another used car for him. And if I had to be honest, I can't think of a single American used car that I would trust up against a Lexus or a Toyota, with the exception of GM's 3.8 cars or 3.8 engines. I think some of the Buicks had those. Those engines are pretty solid. Those cars are pretty solid for the money. But with the exception of those, I can't think of a single American car I can trust up against a Lexus, Toyota, or Honda, for that matter. And it's kind of a shame. It really is kind of a shame. So I've been looking online, something around the 200,000 mile range or less if possible. Should you buy a Lexus with 200,000 miles? If it's maintained, absolutely. Many of these cars maintained have gone hundreds of thousands of miles with little to no problems. If they are maintained, unlike my son. I love my son, but jeez. All right, so what I've been doing, I've been using Auto Trader as an example. Let me see if I can bring that up here on the screen so you guys can go shopping with me. All right, let's go here. So now this is not a sponsored video. I'm not being paid by these guys, by Auto Trader or anybody else. I need to take a break car shopping, so I'm just talking to you guys before I go hit the pool in this heat wave. Yeah. Anyway, so as an example, Auto Trader, and you can type in any price you want. What are you looking for? In this case, I'm looking for $10,000 or less, actually less, since I lost the trade-in value of the car. I lost some thousands of dollars there. But this is an example of how I go shopping for a Lexus car. Again, Lexus are the diamonds of cars. It's that simple. There's nothing better on planet Earth. No matter what anybody says, they set the standard, the gold standard of automobiles. So I think we have this on the screen. Good. So as we look at some of these examples here, what am I looking at? Well, I'm looking at something preferably less than 200,000, but 200,000 miles is okay because my son's car had over 220,000 miles and it ran perfectly until he fried it. Not the car's fault, but it is what it is. So as I'm looking here, for example, all right, here's an 03 Lexus ES330, 187,000 miles, $46.95. Now some of these pre-2000, I can't remember, pre-2005 or pre-2007 had timing belts. So as long as the timing belts have been replaced on some of these Lexuses, this is a good deal, assuming all the maintenance has been done, for $46.95. And as you can see here, some of these will actually say good price, great price. Here's a 2011 ES350. Now these have timing chains, no belts, and this actually is a good price. For less than $10,000 with 131,000 miles, it's hardly broken in. Just be aware, shopping for places where there's snow and salt. The number one thing to watch out for, at least where I live, is rust. Well, number one thing is maintenance. Second thing is rust. yeah, if there's any rust damage, frame damage, you want to stay away from that. And also double check to make sure that the AC works if you live in climates where it gets hot, such as a lot of us. As I scroll down here, here's another good deal, a 2007 Lexus RX all-wheel drive, 182,000 miles for $54.95. Not a bad deal, again, if all the maintenance has been done. And I believe these have timing chains and not timing belts. So as far as Lexus vehicles for $10,000 or less, again, assuming that there's little rust, there's a lot to choose from, at least when I type in something close to me. Here we have an 09 and 08. Okay, this one's 234,000 miles. I'm not sure if I would go that high, but again, if it has all the maintenance records and all that stuff, maybe something like this. You're looking at plugs, looking at a tune-up, water pump change, brakes, rotor, stuff like that. But $4,900 probably wouldn't offer that much, maybe closer to $3,900, maybe. I would have to look at the car. Yeah, there's lots to choose from here. I like how this one, they got a nice red bow tie on the top of the hood. Wow, 2005, only 95,000 miles. That's still a baby. $79.95. That's a possibility. Again, I have to make sure that these have the timing chain and not the timing belt. If they have a timing belt, you're looking at probably $1,000. You change the belt and the water pump, if I am not mistaken, if these had timing belts. But if all the maintenance has been done with this, that's a good price, and it says good price. So, yeah, and I try to stay within 50 miles of home. I might go farther than that if it's a really good deal. That really all depends. I hate shopping for cars. I hate long drives. But as you can see here, at least what I'm looking at, there are lots of choices. The other thing I was looking at were Buicks that had the 3.8 liter engine. Those are super reliable from what I read. That can go hundreds of thousands of miles without issues if they are maintained. So that's another option. But my first choice, look, when you drive the best, it's hard to go with anything else. You're just not gonna be happy, and that's just the way it is. All right, I think I've looked enough here. So for those of you who have Lexuses, 100,000 miles, 200,000 miles, 300,000 miles, and are happy with them, let me know in the comments below after you see this Lexus podcast, because I'm curious. A lot of you did post comments when I bought the other car, the previous car during the pandemic for my son. A lot of you kind of agreed with me that Lexus is the way to go when buying a used car and not being afraid of high mileage. All right, let me see if anybody's in the chat. This was unscheduled, so I don't think anyone's going to be in here. Let's do this, reset that. Yeah, I don't see anybody here. I'll give it another minute or so, then I'll wrap this up. Background music again provided by Dad. Thank you, Dad. All right. Check my. Oh, one thing I forget to mention. I believe with these websites, if you type in your email, you will get alerted with any price alerts, price drops, reduced prices, if you so choose to. That can help speed up the process, especially if you have to drive 5,200 miles to find a decent, in my case, a decent. Well, to find any used Lexus. We don't have a Lexus dealership here, and yeah, around here, if you want a truck, no problem. But Lexus, yeah, I am not in the right area for that, which makes it kind of annoying. But it is what it is. So let me see if jump in the chat again. All right, a quiet day in the chat. That is to be expected. This was a last-minute thing. Many of you will watch this late. This is primarily for all you Lexus and I guess Toyota owners with hundreds of thousands of miles. Have you been satisfied with your car? I'm going to guess yes. If you have not been satisfied, let me know that too, to be fair. But yeah, in the meantime, I'll keep shopping. And if my son does that again, blowing up his engine, I'm going to, yeah. Well, this is a family channel, so can't say more than that. Yeah. All right, guys, have a good one. I'll catch you on the next one. Take care.